Super fantastic. Hey now. So in my last little episode, I was telling you, don't pay your taxes until we talk if you plan on getting up to par financially. I'm wearing red today, as you can see. Red for taxes, red, kind of the same thing. So let's start by talking about what to do. Now, there's a thing called your debt ratio. So when you're going to buy a home, you want to make sure that not more than 40% of your income, sometimes as high as half of your income. Basically, we don't want to see half of your income going to house payment. House payment is going to consist of property taxes, homeowners insurance. So simple math, if you make $2,000 a month, we don't want to see more than $1,000 going to your house payment. Okay, so now when you file your taxes, there's three different ways you're going to file, or three different forms. You're going to have a W-2. If you get a W-2, that means you work at Starbucks or you work somewhere and they take taxes out. Simple, easy peasy. You pay all your stuff, you get it, that's how much you make. That's simple. If you get a W-2, then you can probably almost skip a lot of this because it is what it is. Now, if you're self-employed or if you're a musicians, I'm talking all the musicians that I've come in contact with, like I mentioned in my last little episode, whether you're a promoter, whether you're a player of instruments, you're a touring band, you're probably signing a W-9 when you get paid, before you get paid, depending on what venue that you are performing at, or what kind of service you do. So they're going to send you what is called a 1099. Now, a 1099 is straight up money that they gave you. And half the places you play, they're not going to give you anything. They're just going to pay you cash, done. So, good, bad, whatever. So if you're getting a bunch of 1099s, at the end of the year, you're going to have to let the IRS know that you got those. But this is what's good about that. Now, you're going to have to pay taxes. As sad as it is, and you may not want to hear that, but you have to pay taxes. Paying taxes is the only way that you're going to get ahead. You don't have to pay a ton of taxes, but you're going to have to pay something, So when I mean pay taxes, I mean you're going to have to pay a portion of what you're claiming you make, whatever your tax bracket is or whatnot. We can talk more in depth on that. And, I'm not at liberty, or I'm not qualified to give you tax advice. You want to talk to your tax accountant. Everyone knows somebody who does taxes. If you don't, just go to H&R Block or something, or get TurboTax. And if you don't want to do that, heck, I'll give you my tax person's number. She's awesome. She'll hook you up big time. She's hooked me up for years. So let me know when you go and log into Super Fantastic World. You can anonymously send me a quote or a question or information about my tax person if you want. Other than that, back on track. So W-2, 1099. If you get a 1099, at the end of the year, you're going to want to show that you made at least, now this is the number. This is like if you were making minimum wage. You want to show you're making at least $24,000, okay? Now, if you're making $24,000 a year, you can get into a home that's about $100,000, 150 grand, pushing it. That's a little starter home. It's not a big home, maybe a condo, but you know what? You're in. You're already paying more than that in rent. So, heck, you can get a little starter home, maybe 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, have you and a roommate move in. That house is yours. But you have to show this for 2 years. So if you got a bunch of 1099s from last year, 2018, well, it's 2019 now. So you're going to file your taxes and you're going to say, I made 24 grand last year. This year, as you're going throughout the year, this exact same time next year, it's a year from now, you'll be filing 2019 taxes. So then you might want to up the ante a little bit and said you made about $30,000 in the year. You probably made more. Who knows? But if you get 1099s, then you can say whatever you made as long as it's within reason. Obviously, you're not going to say you made $100,000. You're going to pay a boatload of taxes if you do. But if you're, making $24,000 to $30,000, you're not going to pay too much. You're going to pay something. But if you can show by this same time next year, a year from now, like I told you, you can buy a house in 1 year from now, that you made $30,000 this year, you're going to be able to have 2 years of tax returns that you've shown that you made at least $2,000 a month. Okay, now that $2,000 a month, like I mentioned, is going to get you into a small starter home. Okay, you going with somebody else? You and a buddy of yours? You know, we're saying musicians, bands. You get two people who say you make that much money. What does that equal? Oh, that means you guys made together $48,000 in a year. Now that means I can get into a little bit bigger house. You see what I'm getting at? So whether it's you know, your bandmate, hopefully you guys are bros and you guys aren't going to break up like most bands do after a year, or maybe it's a girlfriend. I don't know. Whoever it is, if you can go in on something with somebody that you trust that's going to be there for the long haul, you're making $24,000 a year. And again, this is minimum wage. They're making $24,000 a year. Together, you're making $48,000 a year. That's okay. So let's recap. You want to make sure that you're not spending more than half of your combined income into a house, car, credit cards, all that stuff. So the key is to have very little credit card debt, all the way down below 30% of whatever limit you have. And if you have a car payment, just make sure you can get a brand new Toyota Yaris or something, you know, where the payment's $199 a month. Brand new. Won't break down. Brand new cars are so awesome because if they do break down, you got roadside service as long as you have the warranty. The hoopty that you spent $2,000 for is going to break down. Something's going to happen. Radiator's going to blow, hose is going to come off, alternator's going to go, tires are going to pop, stuff's going to happen. You're going to be stranded somewhere. You got to get that thing towed. Nightmare. Getting a brand new car is a great thing. You're safe, you know, but you got to go in there lightly. Plus, you're starting to establish yourself at par. All right, my musician friends. Musicians. You got to pay attention. This is important that you do what I'm telling you.